Hello and welcome to another edition of what I hope is fast becoming your favourite recycling podcast. That is, of course, Don't Be a Waster, Recycle. And when I say hopefully your favourite, I actually don't think there are that many recycling podcasts out there, which, to be honest, surprised me a little bit due to A, how interesting the topic is, at least to me, and B, what I think there is a large audience of people out there. So yeah, hopefully the sector grows, hopefully more people, start expressing opinions about it, because at the end of the day, the more people discuss, the more ideas are shared, the better outcomes. So in today's episode, I suppose I just want to talk about, I think in a recent one we talked about progress that people are making, that we're seeing, whereby single-use plastics are being phased out, and that's a real positive. But sometimes you just walk down the street or just in day-to-day life, and sometimes it surprises me how little things are changing. I don't know what listeners think of this, but sometimes you see usages of plastic that just seem utterly nonsensical, utterly there for no reason. And the one I want to talk about, and I think other people have mentioned it to me in the past, is sushi shops, takeaway sushi. Which is, like in Australia, it's incredibly popular. I believe it is also in other countries around the world, obviously in Japan, but I'm not sure how it's packaged there. But certainly we'll talk about it in Australia, the takeaway sushi, which people will get in food courts. You even can get it in Woolworths. They have sushi counters in the large supermarket chain, and you get it at shopping malls, those sort of places. So it's ubiquitous. It's almost in anywhere where people get their lunch, you will get sushi. And takeaway is a very large format through major chains and also through smaller independents. But what surprises me about this is just the proliferation of useless, unnecessary, at least to me, maybe I'm uneducated on this topic, but plastic in every aspect. You pick up some sushi, you get whatever you select, some salmon or whatever it is, and it will come in a plastic container. It will be a plastic throwaway single-use container with a bottom and a top, see-through in the top, and a dark version at the bottom. But that isn't where it stops. Then on top of that, potentially you'll be given plastic chopsticks. Some would be wood, but I've also been given plastic. They'll also be contained often in a plastic wrapper or plastic sheath. And then on top of that, you might get some soy sauce, and it will come in a plastic container, a small plastic container, a single-use sachet. You will get, if you like wasabi, it will again come in a single-use plastic container. And if anything else, ginger, whatever else, the little condiments that come with the sushi, it will be again in plastic containers. On top of this, in many locations, you'll also see things such as plastic grass. I get a concept I don't really grasp. You'll get plastic grass. I assume this is designed to make it seem fresher or greener, but at the end of the day, it does anything but. I suppose it does almost the opposite. And that aspect of things is, to me, it is amazing, and you see it everywhere. So I suppose I just want to discuss why that is happening. I've been to sushi shops more. I think sushi is it a product that requires plastic? And this is something I'm open to education on this. I'm open to people telling me whether it does or not. If plastic is required as a packaging material, what surprises for the fact that it's fish potentially, but I think in many aspects of fast food, of takeaway food, at least in Australia, we are seeing cardboard. More and more cardboard is normal, which is obviously a much more sustainable packaging. We're seeing places like McDonald's, Hungry Jack's, those sort of places, they're phased out. It used to be styrofoam, was used often for the hamburgers, and now it's cardboard. Even at your local fish and chip shop, nearly always the fish and chips will come in a cardboard box. It would be cardboard of some type or another, potentially wrapped sometimes even in paper. Very rarely, I don't think I can even think of a recent memory where it was done in plastic. So I wonder why does the sushi industry still stick to utilization of plastic? The other thing I find surprising, and again, this could just be my own personal opinion, or you could call this even maybe a prejudice almost. Sushi tends to appeal to more health conscious people than, say, the hamburgers or that. I could be wrong on that, but that's just an impression I get. It tends to appeal to people who care more about, about health, about potentially, a healthier lunch than chips and a hamburger. And again, that's speculation. But with that, then, I find it surprising that people who are caring about health, that there's not more pressure to also care about the environment, because clearly, if we're putting plastics into the environment in the longer term, that's going to impact health. And, we want our fish stocks, we want our oceans to be clean, to be healthy places for fish to live. And clearly, if that doesn't happen, maybe I'm thinking too much. Maybe I'm, exposing my own mentality here, that we have to think about the bigger picture. And maybe that's, people just don't care. But, I just think so many of these things can easily be adjusted. Let's just run through. So the plastic packaging, can't we use some format of cardboard similar to what you get in a fish and chip shop, or even a version of what you get in a McDonald's burger? That's point one. Secondly, do we need the condiments to be those little takeaway sachets? Can you not have a glass bottle on the table there, and then you can top it up yourself before you leave the location? Is that possible? Would that reduce the need? Clearly, chopsticks should be wooden. Clearly, we should not be making them from plastic at this stage in the game, considering all we know. Secondly, just let's get rid of the little grass, the fake grass. We don't require that. I don't think anybody will miss it. And again, the similar thing for wasabi, for ginger. I'm sure that could just be added as a condiment on top. I think even you look at some other fast food chains in Australia. Guzman and Gomez is a classic example. The Mexican burrito sort of bar, where you can, at least before COVID, and I think it's coming back, you could add condiments, sort of tomato, some sort of chopped onion, these sort of things, and it was added at a food bar. Again, of course, with COVID, there's probably issues around that. But as restrictions ease and we go back to some semblance of normality, I think that's our way forward. So, I personally think you could reduce the plastic usage in these locations almost 100%, at least 90% plus, and that would make a big difference. So, I'm open to reasons or explanations as to why it is this way, why these restaurants are using so much plastic. Is there a valid reason? Is it about freshness? Is it about the sushi, you don't want fish, absorbing stuff or leaking into the cardboard? There could be a valid reason. I personally don't know what it is. So if any listeners out there know, please reach out and educate me. I'm open to education. Otherwise, I really do think it's something that we should push more to help people recycle more. Or when we say recycle more, just reduce the need for recycling by using easy materials like cardboard, and also just those glass bottles on the counter that will not impact the enjoyment of the food by any means, I don't think, and potentially make it a better environmental experience. So yeah, interested to hear your feedback. If anyone does know the answer to this question, shout, come back to me. Otherwise, have a great week and recycle. Don't be a waster.